Alright, so here we are on your website, heritagemuseum.org, and I'm logged in as an administrator. And the first thing I'd like to do is just show you how to fix this extra space here. This is a really simple fix. You're just going to go in to edit the content on this particular module by rolling over that blue drop-down arrow and clicking Edit Content. This will pull up what's called the Rich Text Editor. You're probably pretty familiar with it, and you'll notice that there's just extra space up here. It's as easy as deleting it. You can even delete that last one as well, and you're all set. Click Save, and you are done. And the page will reload. You'll be looking at your home page again, and now you notice that you don't have that extra space. So that is looking good. Here I see you've added an extra module with Be a Fan, follow us on Facebook. And you have this image in here, and I'm noticing this image looks a little squished. So I'm wondering what's the real dimensions of that image. So I'm going to go ahead and right click on it, choose Open Image in New Tab. This will be slightly different depending on which browser you're using, the options that are available to you, but I'm going to go ahead and look at, sure enough, that image is a square, should be more of a square, and it's a lot bigger than you have it displaying. So that'll be one thing you'd like to fix, and I'll send you a link, or I think I may have already sent you a link to how to make sure you're optimizing your images for your website. So you don't want to squish things because it'll distort the picture, and you don't want to show things at a smaller size in the actual image, because then my computer's still having to load this large image. So that's the problem you had recently with your home page not loading, is you had almost 30 megabytes worth of images trying to load, and so anybody's computer is going to freeze when it tries to do that. So that's the first two steps, just kind of getting rid of extra space and then adding or making sure your images are right. Now let's talk about adding a new image. I'm going to go ahead and do it here, and I'll do it on your home page, and then I'll just delete it. So let's say we wanted to add a new image, and the title of the new image was going to be Country Kitchen Living. That sounds like something good. So we're going to go ahead and put in a module, an HTML module called Country Kitchen Living. We'll put it in the content pane, and we're going to put it on the bottom. That means it's going to go at the bottom of all the content that's currently there on your content pane. We're going to go ahead and click Add Module. When this shows up down here, so what this will do is it'll add a module, and you'll see that it's down here. It's called Country Kitchen Living. You see how it has this container around there with this rounded background? I think this one with just a single line across, and it's more of a maroon color, it fits your look a little better, would look a little better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go into the settings for this particular module by rolling over the blue drop-down arrow and clicking on Settings. And this will take me to the module settings. Every module has this option. I'm going to expand page settings by clicking on the X next to that. See where it says module container, and right now it's set to use the page default. Instead, I'm going to choose, you have all sorts of options here, but I'm going to choose sheer maroon container 13. And that's that one with that maroon line with the title above it. Then I'm going to scroll down and click Update. And you'll see what happens is now we've got a real nice looking break between Be a Fan on Facebook and Country Kitchen Living. And now we just need to add content. So we're almost there. Then we're going to go ahead and go in and edit content. For this module, this is the kind of same place you went before. You notice you have this Add Content option. Go ahead and delete that. Now, you mentioned wanting to add an image, so there's this little button here, the Image Manager. I'll click on that to pull up the Image Manager, and this will load here just in a little pop-up window. And as that's loaded, you'll notice this is taking a long time to load. Let me explain why. It's going to load all the images that you have in your file manager, and you've got some very large images in there. So you'll want to make sure that you change the size of those. So that they're optimized for your website. Now, you may have different folders in here. It looks like you have one called Photos Museum October 25th. I'll go ahead and double click on that and see what you got in there. Some of these are over a megabyte. Here's one that's small, so we'll just pretend that this is the one I'm looking for. You'll notice the size. So I'll click on that. Let's say that this, instead of being a picture of this man, was a picture of something country kitchen living-esque. You can choose the properties on this, and you can see the width is 175, the height is 261. The border, right now it doesn't have a border set, but if you wanted to, you could set a border. Let's say we want to set a 5-pixel border with the color of blue. You could do whatever you want. I'd be careful not to do too much in here. You can add alt text, which is helpful for search engine optimization, as well as for people who are perusing your site that may be blind, so that their screen reader can read something to them. So you might call this picture of the kitchen. Image alignment. This only matters if you're going to be putting text with the image. So typically, you're going to just leave this as is. It looks like the model that you've decided on is just to a vertical format. So you're not going to wrap text around these. But if you wanted to, you can see you have different options for how you could wrap text. We're going to leave that on just the X. You can put a margin if you don't want the text butted up right next to it. Again, if you're just going to do this vertical model, you won't need that either. And then I'll click Insert. You see that's there. I've got this blue border around it. I can put my cursor in here, and you'll kind of see it's flashing right after the image. I'm going to go ahead and hit Enter, and then my cursor will be right down below it. And if I want to hit Enter again, I'll put a little bit of space in there, and then I can put a title. So this is the cut line. And thanks for giving me a description of what cut line was. That's great for me to know, and I'll try to use that in my conversations that I have today. Let's say you wanted to center all this. You could simply highlight it and choose the center option up here just by clicking Align Center, and then it's all aligned in the middle. You notice how there's no extra spaces below it, no extra spaces above it. Click Save, and like usual, when you click Save, it'll take you back to look at your home page again. And when it does, you'll notice that we've got this nice looking country kitchen living. This is the cut line and the image right there. You want to add another one, you'd go through the steps again. You'd go right up to the top, all the way, add a new module with a title. You will never need to go into this module and add more content to that module. You don't want to add 15, 20 pictures to a single module. It's just not the best way to do it. So hopefully that makes it really clear what you need to do, and hopefully you see that the process is super simple. If you do have questions, like always, don't hesitate to let us know. I'll go ahead and delete this in case anyone's looking at your site right now. And once that reloads, you'll be all set.